Okay, so I've already got the shelves in here. It's simple enough. I don't really need to go through the whole thing and make the video longer than it needs to be. Cut the shelves to length, and if you'll notice down here, these cleats that we had put in before, okay, that stop material, I put glue on it. The shelf fits down nice and tight. If you've got a little cup or a little bow in your shelf, you'll easily be able to press that down and nail it in. You just use finish nails or a brad nailer if you've got one, a finish nailer. I've also put screws on the end to draw it in tight, just using like fine finish screws. And we use the same technique that we used before when we drew that line across the outside. Maybe you could bring that camera around here slow and you can show them real quick. So I drew that line across so that I know where my shelf is. When I put that screw in, I know I'm going to hit that board. Okay. And then for the trim material in the front, I'm just using this 1x poplar. This is a 1x3, so it's an actual 2.5 inch. I just found with this size it's going to work well. Anything smaller probably wouldn't look right. You'll also notice it's not primed. I couldn't find the dimension. Again, there's no ripping. This is for the average homeowner. There's no ripping involved in any of this. This is just stock dimension material. This is a 1x3, so it's 2.5 inch. It works perfectly. You just have to prime and paint it when it's done. This one's going to go on the center, and it's just going to be centered right on this vertical piece. Okay, just right here. So make sure you center it. I'll glue the back along here and finish nail it in, or brad nail it in, finish nail it in, and then I'll show you how to do the side. Okay, so I've got this corner piece already on here, almost to the bottom, but I wanted to just show you, just to kind of remind you what we did before. I've got glue on the back, so it'll hold it in place once it's nailed in. At the bottom, I've got this little overhang. So basically, all you're going to do is just tap it over. You want to nail it at the last spot where it's flush. That'll hold it in place. Otherwise, as I tap it over, the whole board will move over, and then I'll have another problem. So I'm going to secure that here, and then as I tap it over, just continue along the way. Now I'm pretty flush up here. And I just got to go a little bit down at the bottom. I don't want to dent this up, so I'm going to use the bottom of my hammer. There you go. Right there's good. Now pretty good. All right, you notice I have one on the middle, centered. Now, there's a little trick to doing the piece across the top. This is going to get doors, by the way, so I'm not going to do any edging. If this was a freestanding shelf, I would leave it as is, and then, without doors, and then I would just put a shelf edge on this, and we'll do that on the top pieces that we do, but for the bottom it's going to get doors, so we're just going to leave it like this. But I'm going to go cut a piece to show you a little trick for putting the top on. Okay, so you see this horizontal frame piece on the top. I'm going to take this off. I just dry fitted it. To take it out, one of the tricks that I use is to put this backer piece. So you basically just cut it so that it fits behind. Alright, like this. Put some glue on the top edge, put some glue on the ends, tuck it in, and then you can go ahead and brad nail it in here. Or you don't even need to, but just make sure the nails don't come all the way through. A trick though is to take your tape measure and just measure the distance from your edge. So in this case I'm 1.5 inches. So if I measure over 1.5 inches, make a mark, my board is 3/4 inch, so I can just follow my 3/8 of an inch from that. I can find my center, and then I know if I hold this up, hold it up, secure it with your hand, you can go ahead and nail it down, and then that won't move. Okay, so you do that all along the edge, just in a couple spots, and then you can go ahead and put this piece on, and it'll be nice and secure, and it won't tend to sort of wiggle free like. Okay, so that should do it on the top. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom on this one, and then like I said, we're going to build doors on it. Freestanding, just put a shelf edge and you're good to go. Sand it down. You'll have to touch up these little spots where you put your nails, but that's pretty typical. So that's it. The advantage of a shelf like this, all glued, there's no adjustable shelves. So some might say that's a disadvantage, but I much rather have a nice sturdy bookcase. It's not going to move, it's not going to rack, it's not going to you know, kind of shake back and forth on you. It's real solid, especially once that glue sets up. So if you want to put a back on it, you just use a Llewellyn plywood. We're just going to put this against the sheetrock wall and paint it the same color as the bookcase, so it's got that built-in kind of look without the added expense. And just put a couple brackets on it to hold it against the wall, and you're good to go. So.